The controversial pardon of Hunter Biden, a political and financial whirlwind. Let's dive into one of the most explosive and polarizing stories of the year. President Joe Biden's pardon of his son, Hunter Biden. Buckle up, because this isn't just a political drama, it's a financial, ethical, and legal whirlwind that has everyone from Wall Street to Main Street speculating about what comes next. But before we unravel the intricate web of events, let me ask you this. How would you react if the leader of the free world made a move so bold, so controversial, that it sent shockwaves through the entire nation? Let's start with the basics. What exactly happened? On December 3rd, President Joe Biden issued a full pardon to his son, Hunter Biden, who had been embroiled in legal trouble for years. From tax evasion allegations to the infamous laptop saga, Hunter's troubles have been a lightning rod for criticism from the right and a source of quiet discomfort for the left. This pardon, however, is not just about a father saving his son. It's a move that carries enormous political and financial implications. Think about this. Hunter's business dealings in Ukraine and China have already raised eyebrows, with questions swirling about potential conflicts of interest and ethical breaches. Now, with a presidential pardon in the mix, critics are questioning whether this sets a dangerous precedent for accountability, or lack thereof, at the highest levels of government. But wait, it gets more complex. What does this mean for the financial markets, and why should investors care? Stay tuned, because we're about to dig into the ripple effects you might not see coming. Here's where the plot thickens. President Biden's decision to pardon Hunter was reportedly made swiftly, with advisors warning him of the potential fallout. Some insiders claim it was a move driven by personal anguish and a desire to protect his family. Others suggest it was a calculated political gamble to neutralize a scandal that had the potential to derail his administration's final year in office. But let's zoom out for a second and consider the broader implications. What message does this send to Wall Street, where integrity and transparency are paramount? Could this erode trust in institutions at a time when the economy is already teetering on uncertainty? And what about foreign markets? The Hunter Biden pardon isn't just a domestic story, it's a global one. Countries like China, already engaged in a tense economic rivalry with the US, are undoubtedly watching closely. How might this affect trade negotiations or geopolitical alliances? If you think this is just about politics, think again. The financial stakes are enormous. Market reactions to political events. Investors speculating on US policy, cryptocurrency, and regulatory scrutiny. Interruption time. What would you do if you were in Joe Biden's shoes? Pardon your son to protect him? Or let the legal process play out to preserve your legacy? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate is far from over. And while you're at it, share this video with a friend who loves a good political thriller, because this story has more twists than a Hollywood script. Back to the financial angle, because this isn't just a political scandal, it's a cautionary tale for investors. Consider this. The Hunter Biden saga has already fueled conspiracy theories and misinformation campaigns, some of which have targeted publicly traded companies. Now, with the pardon adding a fresh layer of controversy, we could see similar market disruptions. Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the human side of this story. Joe Biden has often described himself as a family man, and his love for Hunter is undeniable. But does that excuse his actions? Critics argue that the pardon undermines the rule of law and sets a dangerous precedent. Supporters, on the other hand, see it as a compassionate act by a father who has already endured immense personal tragedy, from the loss of his first wife and daughter to the death of his son Beau. This emotional dimension adds another layer of complexity to the story, making it all the more compelling and divisive. But here's the kicker. Personal decisions by leaders often have far-reaching consequences. Whether you see Biden's actions as noble or self-serving, the fact remains that they will shape his legacy and, by extension, the legacy of his administration. What do you think? Is this a story of redemption or a case of power being abused? Let me know in the comments. And now for the big question, where do we go from here? The Hunter Biden pardon is not the end of the story. It's just the beginning. In the coming weeks, we'll likely see intensified scrutiny from Republicans, who are already gearing up for a new round of investigations. This could dominate headlines well into 2025, overshadowing other critical issues like inflation, unemployment, and the debt ceiling. For investors, this means one thing: uncertainty. And if there's one thing markets hate, it's uncertainty. So how can you protect yourself? Diversification is key. Consider balancing your portfolio with a mix of defensive stocks, bonds, and alternative assets. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and most importantly, stay ahead of the curve by subscribing to this channel, where we break down the news you need to know. As we wrap up, let's circle back to the question we started with. How would you react if you were in Joe Biden's position? The answer might not be as simple as it seems. This story is a stark reminder that leadership is messy, and the line between personal and professional can blur in ways that challenge our moral compass. Whether you're a seasoned investor, a political junkie, or just someone trying to make sense of a chaotic world, the Hunter Biden pardon is a story that demands your attention. So, what's your take? Are we witnessing a moment of compassion or a crisis of accountability? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and keep questioning the narratives that shape our world.